Hello and welcome to today's episode of Home Base. Did you know in America there are more than 38 million home-based businesses? What's the business next door? Today we're going to talk to you about a business that's located right here in the greater Austin area in Hutto, Texas. Today we're going to G Sawdust Factory. Mr. Skip is going to show us around. Let's go inside. Hi, Mr. Skip.
Hi, that's dog's kind of escape.
Thanks for having us today, Mr. Skip. So, Mr. Skip told us that G Sawdust Factory really probably started in about 2015 after he retired. So, did you do woodworking before? What did you do for a living?
I was a project manager for a software company called, when I left, it was Computer Sciences Corp. I had been there for about 30 years. So, as everybody else moved on, made more money, I just stayed there.
So is this just a passion project? How did you end up opening a Sawdust Factory here?
It really was. It was, I was raised around home fixing it up yourself thing by my dad, and have done a fair amount of that over the years, building fences and decks and things like that. And I decided I wanted to take a little twist off of that and start playing with woodworking, and it just grew and grew and grew, and finally I decided, well, we got to have a name for this, and we called it G's Sawdust Factory.
Oh, I love that. G Sawdust Factory. Now, one of the things Mr. Skip was sharing with us earlier today is that good wood is hard to find, but we have a really nice piece of good wood right here. Why don't you talk to us about what you're working on here with this piece?
Well, this is a piece of mesquite. It's about 5.5 long by about average 17 wide. It's what they call a live edge slab because this edge and some of the back edge are all the original edge of the tree. It hasn't been cut down like big box store lumber. And mesquite is a local to the Southwest wood. It's very hard. I think it's the second hardest wood in North America. And this was a piece I picked up from a guy who was having to move all of his stuff down in Luling, south of here. And he gave me a good price on it, but it was split down the middle. And they had attempted to fix it with some two-part epoxy, but that had not gone well for him. So when I got it, basically it just got slightly smoothed out, and we started back filling the cracks and the splits, there's the dog, with epoxy. And that's probably the prettiest part is down here where the blue is.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. So we were talking about, live edge is very on trend right now. This looks like a beautiful piece for maybe an office lobby, a ranch. Many people here in Texas have ranch, or a larger home. I can imagine this maybe as a console table right up against the wall with a beautiful vase of flowers and a picture on top of it. So this is a piece that you're doing for someone, or can this be purchased?
This piece, frankly, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Anya and I have been talking a little bit about that. I basically just wanted to get this to a usable surface, get the epoxy in all the cracks and the faults, see what kind of look we can get out of it. And now we are almost to the point where we need to decide what are we going to do with it.
Okay.
But tables is a possibility. The console idea is a possibility. There's probably several things that you could do with a piece like this. It's definitely rough. I mean, this part's fairly smooth, but you can see these are the bandsaw marks from the sawmill that are still in there.
And we call this character.
Excellent. I like that.
Well, LinkedIn family, what about you? This is a beautiful piece of wood. Do you have a project that you would like to share with Mr. Skip? Would this piece work for your project? Look in the comments below for Mr. Skip's contact information if you would like to see this in your home or office. Thank you so much for turning in to today's episode of Home Base, where we look at the businesses that are right next door.